Hi there, thanks for joining me on Build to Scale. So this is a weekly show that goes out on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. You will get notified first when we drop new episodes, and they go out weekly. This is a show for trades and construction businesses to help you understand how to use marketing and advertising more effectively to grow your business. And each week we cover a different topic. And this week we're going to cover websites. It's a topic we've covered in previous episodes. We're going to look at specifically how you can turn what is essentially a digital brochure for many businesses into more of a 24/7 lead sales bookings machine. So we're going to look at 5 different ways that you can adapt your website to suit your ideal prospect and convert more of those clicks into bookings. Okay, so this is a very typical scenario. Most customers aren't going to be searching for what you do at the time when you're at your phone or when you're ready to answer your phone. They're going to be searching in the evening, early morning, typically times when most trades aren't open for business. And imagine a scenario where they find 3 websites, but only one of them lets them book on the spot. And whether that's a survey or an inspection, whatever it is, the website that allows them to book there and then is invariably going to get the business. The websites where you have to fill in a form or you have to phone, they're typically not going to get the job, because most people, when they have a long list of jobs to do and you're running a house, they just want to get the job done. They want to get it ticked off their list. And you're the same. I'm the same. We want to book a dental appointment or a doctor's appointment. You just want to be able to go to an online booking form and get the job done. And this is no different in the world of trades and construction. People just want to get a booking done. There's 2 types of websites, really. You've got a brochure website, which is kind of there to showcase what the business does. And, this is who we are. This is what we do. This is when we were established. Here's our phone number. Here's a form you can fill in if you want to talk to us. Whereas a sales machine website is very, very different, and it's designed and put together in a very different way. There's proof as to why you're the best in the business. You've got breakdowns of costs or example costs. You've got times when you're available. But the most important thing, you can book there and then. You can book an inspection, or you can pay for your boiler service, or you can pay for the inspection. These are really, really critical, because the customer just wants to get the job done. So these are the two different types of websites that I see very typically in the trades profession. Websites that kind of just, this is what we do, and aren't we great, versus websites that actually show and prove why you're the best. They've got reviews, they've got testimonials, they've got case studies, they've got very clear pricing. And if you can't give clear pricing, then give indicative pricing, give example pricing. People want to know the price before they start engaging in a sales conversation. They just do. So there's 5 questions that customers are asking when they land on your website. First one is, are you near to where I am? So your website needs to convey very quickly what areas you serve, where you're based, the geographic kind of areas that you serve. The second question they're asking is, can I trust this business? And trust is conveyed in many different ways. A number of ways you can convey trust on your website. Have real photos of you, your team, your vans, your premises if you've got them. Don't use stock photography. And even worse than stock photography, do not use AI generated images. They are terrible and an instant trust reducer, if you like. The third question that they're going to be asking is, can I afford this business? So giving some examples of pricing is really helpful. If you don't want to give example pricing, and I get that, for some construction businesses, what they do is entirely bespoke and you simply can't give a price, then use the design and the language and the feel of your brand to convey where you sit in the market. It's very easy to look at a website and see and understand whether this business is cheap or whether it's premium. The types of photograph you use, drone photography of projects you've worked on, are all ways to convey cost without actually saying cost. If you're delivering standardized products like boilers, servicing, electrical, checks and so on and so forth. You can give example prices and from prices, and that's really important. Are you available? Is another key question that they're asking. When can I book? How can I book? When can I get an inspection done or a survey done? They're critical questions. And can I book now? Is there a way for me to book without having to fill in a form? That means I'm going to get a call back, probably in the day when I'm going to be at work. I'm not going to be able to take the call, so we're going to be playing a little bit of telephone tennis, and I'm going to try and get back to you, and it's just all taking too long. So have some sort of booking form. They do work. I work with businesses that deploy booking forms where a customer can pick the date, and they work for both parties, the business and the customer, because no one's wasting time on phone calls going backwards and forwards. So let's tackle the first of those questions. So are you near me and do you do what I need? So your website needs to convey this in the very top section of the website. So when I land on your website, I can clearly tell where you're based, what services you do, essentially, do you do what I need? You get a few seconds to convey that information before you lose people and before they come off and then go to the next listing on Google. So that's really important to get that across. And actually, service and location pages are, in SEO terms, some of the best pages that you can have on your website, where you're specific about an area and a service. So boiler servicing in Sheffield, have a page called boiler servicing in Sheffield. Have the wording at the top, we service boilers in Sheffield. Don't make it complicated. The world's a busy and noisy place, and the easier you make it for people, trust me, the easier it is to convert them. Then have a button there that says book now, book your service now. People want to get that job done. Okay, the second question that they're asking is, can they trust you? And this is critical. This is really, really critical. So have testimonials on your website, have real, visible social proof. The best thing you can do in your business is get people to leave reviews for you on Google Business. It'll do two things. Number one, you can repurpose those on your own website. And number two, it's a very clear signal to Google that you're a trusted, alive, working business. So reviews are really important. The 5-star symbol, the Google symbol, they're all psychological trust signals. So have those on your website. Any sort of accreditations like Which Trusted Trader, Gas Safe, Worcester Bosch, partnered, all of these convey trust. So they're very important to have in the clear section at the top when people first visit your website. The third question they're asking is, what's this going to cost me? And like I said at the top of the call, if there's a way that you can convey prices on your website, that is going to win out over websites that don't convey pricing. They just will. We're all the same. We want to know how much something is going to cost me. If you walked into a car showroom and there were no prices on cars, you would probably walk straight back out again, because you don't want to get involved in conversations about how much is this, can I afford it? And like I said, I do get there are certain businesses where you can't put pricing on what you do because it is so bespoke. But then use your website, use your photography, use your brand, use your fonts, use the style of your website to convey where you sit in the market. So you repel people that can't afford you and you attract the people that can afford you. Question 4 that people are going to be asking is, are you available and how quickly can you get to me? So articulating things like availability, response times, do you offer emergency call outs? These are really important questions that, again, you need to be featuring high up in your website so that people don't have to go fishing around for it. If you don't offer those, then don't put them, because you're going to start getting calls that you don't want. But make it clear what your operating hours are, whether you offer emergency call outs, how long it typically takes. These should be all in your frequently asked questions on your website, because people want to know this stuff before they start making inquiries and bookings. And then the fifth question is, How do we get started? We live in an era now where people want things quickly. So filling in a form and having to wait 24 hours for somebody to call you back is simply not effective anymore. Phone calls are fine, but what if you're not around to pick it up, or it's in the evening and you've got nobody answering your phones? So having some sort of online booking for services where you can offer online booking and payment makes absolute sense for both parties, for you to save time so you don't have to start calling people back the next day, and for the customer. Because we live in this world where we're used to getting stuff quickly and easily. Uber cabs. Uber changed the game when they came along. Amazon, it started with 24-hour delivery. Now it's delivery within a few hours. Deliveroo and Just Eat, you can get your takeaway within 30 minutes or less. So these companies have raised the bar of expectation of what consumers expect. So if you have a website and somebody has to fill in a form to then move along to the next step, you are missing an opportunity, and you're gifting your rival businesses, your competitors, because they are doing this stuff. I'm working with clients now who are implementing online booking either through tools like Surefire, ServiceMate, Traderify, all these tools. If they're not using those tools, GoHighLevel, which is the CRM that we use, and all the clients that work with us get access to their own high-level CRM. They're using those for built-in calendars, booking pages, automated missed calls. If they miss a call in the day, the customer gets a text to say, sorry, we missed your call, we'll be in touch shortly. They're doing all the right things for the customer and for their business. They're putting systems and processes in place to make sure that they don't miss an inquiry. So here's some simple things that you can do. So pull up your website on your phone. If you're watching this on your phone, then pause the video and come back to it. Have a look at your website right now. So does it tell me, when you land on your website on your phone or on a desktop, does it tell me exactly what you do and where you do it in a few seconds, under 5 seconds? Or do you have to scroll for that information? If you were looking at your website through the eyes of a customer and having watched this video, some of the things that I've talked about, would you trust your business? Is there a way that I can find out how much the service is going to cost me? So if I go onto your website and you're looking at your website right now, is there a way, either visually through the style of your website, is it giving an impression of whether you're expensive or whether you're at the lower end of the market? Or do you have pricing on your website? And can I book right now without having to speak to somebody? Can I book an appointment? Can I book a survey? Can I book an inspection? Can I pay for my service online? Can I just get the job done without having to wait on somebody to call me back the next day and play the typical telephone tense? Is there a way that we can do this right now? So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I really enjoy making these. So as I said at the top, if you can spare a few moments to subscribe to the channel, that would be very much appreciated. And you'll also get to, you'll be notified when we drop new episodes as well. So hopefully that was useful. Have a look at your website. Try and make it easier for the customer. I'm not saying you have to implement all this stuff right now, but just look at it through the customer's eyes and look at it through your own eyes. If you're trying to get a job done, you want to be able to book now. You want simplicity. You don't want complicated, lengthy processes. So do what you can for the customer. And like I said, if you've enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next episode of Build to Scale.